Alrighty guys, we are going to get started with some multi-step equations today. We're going to go back and kind of put together a few things that we've been talking about before. The first thing we need to do is ask, are there parentheses? If there are, we're going to have to distribute. Okay, remember the number outside gets multiplied by every number inside the parentheses. Second, we need to combine like terms. Make sure we find the terms that have exactly the same variable. Don't forget the sign and the variable. I've noticed a little bit that when we have been doing some combining like terms in class, we remember the coefficient, but we sometimes forget the variable. The variable is just as important part of the answer. The third thing we're going to do is move the constant. Remember, we use our inverse operations of addition and subtraction to move the constant over from one side to the other. And finally, the last step is to get the coefficient equal to 1. We're trying to solve for x or y or m, not 2x or 2y or 2m. We want just the variable, so the coefficient is 1. And we're going to use the inverse operations of multiplication and division to make that happen. Just a reminder, pause this video, rewind it as you need to so that you can get everything down that you need. So the first equation we're going to work on together is 5n plus 11 plus 13n equals 29. So I'm going to draw my lines down here. Are there parentheses? No, no parentheses. So we go to step 2, combine like terms. We have a 5n, we have a positive 13n. Don't forget the sign, don't forget the variables, okay? 5n plus 13n is 18n. We still have the positive 11 equals 29. Number 3, move the constant. 11 is our constant, there's no variable. Yes, 29 is a constant, but it's already by itself. We don't want to move it to the other side. Remember, we're trying to get the variable by itself, so we need to move everything away from the variable. The opposite of add is subtract, so we subtract 11 from both sides. 18n equals 18. 18n means multiply, so the inverse for step 4 to get the coefficient from 18 to 1, divide by 18 on both sides. 18 divided by 18 is 1. N equals, hey, look, 18 divided by 18 is 1. And of course, you could substitute this into your calculator. You could take 5 times 1 plus 11 plus 13 times 1, and that will equal 29, so you'll know that you checked out. Alrighty, the next one we're going to do together. 1 plus 13x minus 17x equals 5. So we'll just go ahead and draw our line down the equal sign to separate into our two sides. Are there parentheses? No, no parentheses. Number 2, combine like terms, paying attention to the sign and the variable. Here's a positive 13x and a negative 17x. So I have 1, the positive 13x minus 17x gives us a negative 4x equals 5. Step 3, move the constant. The constant is the 1. Look in front of the 1. The 1 is positive. The negative, the minus here, goes with the 4x. So we're going to subtract 1 from both sides. And remember, if you're not sure what to do, test it. If you add 1 to this side, 1 plus 1 is 2. It doesn't move that constant out of the way. So that tells us right there that we didn't do the right thing. Don't just do something to do it. Think about what you're doing and evaluate it to see if it's correct. 1 minus 1 goes away, cancels out. Bring down the sign. Make sure you pay attention to it all the time. Negative 4x equals 4. The opposite of multiply is divide. A lot of people are just going to divide by 4 because they see the 4. Don't forget the sign. This isn't just for step 2. This is always. Don't forget the sign. This is a negative, so we want to divide by a negative. Because a negative divided by a positive is negative, but we don't want negative x. We want positive x. Negative divided by negative is positive. Remember, if you hate to hate, you're a lover. So we want to divide both sides by negative 4. Again, make sure you do the same thing on both sides. Keep everything equal. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 is 1, so there's our x equals 4 divided by negative 4 is negative 1. And once again, you can check this substituting into your calculator. 1 plus 13 times negative 1 minus 17 times negative 1. Type this left side into your calculator just like that, and you will get 5, so you can see that it checks out. Alrighty, next one that we're going to do. 8 times the quantity of 1 minus 2x equals negative 120. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw my line. Step number 1, are there parentheses? Yes, we have parentheses, so we need to distribute. We're going to distribute the 8. 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times negative 2x is negative 16x equals negative 120. Oops, excuse me, I copied the problem down wrong. This is a negative 8. So we'll have a negative 8 here and a positive here, because negative times positive is negative. Negative times negative is positive. Excuse me, I apologize for that. So the next thing we're going to do is move the constant, because we have no like terms. There's just those two terms, nothing to combine there. So we're going to add 8 to both sides. Negative 8 plus 8 is 0, so we have 16x equals negative 112. If I owe someone $120, but I have $8, I give them 8, I only owe them $112 now, okay? Helps to think that way with money. The opposite of multiply is divide, so we're going to divide both sides by positive 16, since that's the coefficient, and x equals negative 7. And once again, you can check it out. Negative 8 times the quantity of 1 minus 2 times negative 7, double set of parentheses there, notice, equals negative 120, and it will work out for you. Alrighty, let's try one more. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and give you your 2 that I would like you to practice on your own. Here are 2 problems I want you to practice on your own. Come to class with them ready to go tomorrow, and we'll go from there. Let's see here. 7 times the quantity of y plus 9 equals 112. There's your first one. Your second one is r plus 11 minus 4r equals negative 28. Try those 2 problems on your own. Come to class tomorrow with questions, and we will continue on talking about multi-step equations and get some more practice in class. Good job, guys. Have a good day, and we'll see you next time.